In the heart of Amsterdam's Jewish cultural quarter, the Jewish Museum and the Portuguese Synagogue face each other across Jonas Daniel Meyerplein, forming one of the city's most evocative cultural pairings. A single combined ticket grants entry to both sites and to other venues in the quarter and remains valid for a full week, a practical advantage if you wish to pace your visits or return for a second look. In the year 1671, the Great Synagogue was consecrated in Amsterdam, a proud structure that echoed with prayers in Yiddish and Hebrew. Built to serve the fast-growing Ashkenazi Jewish community, its design was solemn yet majestic. Marble pillars upheld its galleries. An intricately carved marble arch, brought to life by candlelight, faced worshippers with enduring dignity. But by 1943, the voices faded. The Nazi occupation emptied these walls. Jews were deported, synagogues shuttered. When the war ended, silence remained. The once crowded pews were now dusty relics of a vanished world. After the Holocaust, Amsterdam's Jewish community was a shadow of what it had been. The Jewish Historical Museum, founded in 1932, had lost nearly all its possessions. Nazi looting had erased 95% of its collection. And the synagogues, sold to the city in 1955, stood hollow, one briefly used by a furniture maker, another nearly left to ruin. In the late 1970s and early 80s, restoration architects and curators joined forces, embarking on a monumental project to preserve the bones of the buildings but breathe new life into them. The museum opened its doors not just with exhibitions, but with reverence. The new synagogue became home to a vivid timeline of Dutch Jewish life, from the 17th century to post-war recovery. Glass and steel installations were introduced delicately, modern but respectful, showing artifacts once buried or stolen. Inside, you move between two permanent displays, one on the ground floor devoted to Jewish rituals and ceremonial objects, many installed in their original locations, and another tracing the history of Jewish life in the Netherlands from the 1600s to 1890. Only a small portion of its roughly 11,000-piece collection is on view at any time, which makes each object all the more significant. In 2025, one of the highlights is the exhibition The Book of Esther in the Age of Rembrandt, which examines how the biblical story inspired painters of the Dutch Golden Age. For younger visitors, the Jewish Museum Junior recreates the warmth of a Jewish home, complete with opportunities to braid and bake miniature challah loaves, a hands-on way to encounter tradition. Just steps away, the Portuguese Synagogue, or Esnoga, offers a completely different kind of immersion. Built between 1671 and 1675 to serve Amsterdam's thriving Sephardic community, it was the largest synagogue in the world at its inauguration. Its Baroque exterior conceals an interior of timeless austerity. No electric lighting, only the glow of 1,000 candles, a finely carved wooden ark, and a floor covered in sand, a Dutch Sephardic tradition that muffles footsteps and absorbs moisture. Today, when you walk into the Jewish Historical Museum, you don't just see displays. You walk a timeline from the joyful songs of Ashkenazi immigrants, through the shadows of occupation and genocide, into a present that strives to remember, without letting grief consume all light. And the architecture still holds its breath, not frozen in time, but living as both house of prayer and hall of memory. Experiencing both in one day is entirely possible, though allowing 2.5 to 3 hours will let you take in the details without rushing. The quarter's compact layout makes it easy to weave in nearby sites such as the Hollandse Schouwburg or the National Holocaust Museum, both within a short walk.